It is the classic startup dream. A founder creates a product, tells three friends, they tell three friends, and suddenly they dominate the market without spending a single dime on advertising. It is tempting to look at peer-to-peer recommendation as the ultimate marketing hack. Why buy expensive television spots or digital campaigns when your own customers could do the heavy lifting for free? The problem is that actual buying data tells a completely different story. When we measure how consumers actually talk about products, the fairy tale collapses. Conversations about brands follow strict, predictable mathematical laws, and relying on those conversations to build your business from scratch is one of the fastest ways to guarantee it never grows at all. There is a persistent fear in business that one bad customer experience will doom a company. The assumption is that angry buyers are loud and that negative reviews spread like wildfire compared to quiet satisfaction. This chart shows the actual volume of positive versus negative word of mouth across multiple industries, and it proves the exact opposite is true. Positive word of mouth is actually 2 to 5 times more common than negative. To complain, someone needs a specific story of failure, but most products actually work the way they are supposed to, which severely limits the pool of people with a negative story to tell. Meanwhile, there are millions of satisfied people actively giving praise. And even when negative conversations do happen, empirical studies show negative advice has roughly the exact same amount of influence on a buyer as a piece of positive advice. Pouring massive resources into fighting negative chatter is a waste of time and money. Those interactions are exceptionally rare, and they hold no special power over your audience. There is a physical limit to who can actually recommend a product. To talk about a brand, you need first-hand experience with it. That means word of mouth almost exclusively originates from a brand's current active users. This scatter plot maps market share against word of mouth volume, demonstrating a law called double jeopardy. Small brands suffer twice. Having fewer buyers severely caps their pool of people who can actually talk about them. A company physically cannot generate massive viral word of mouth if it doesn't already possess a massive user base to generate those conversations. Word of mouth is not a marketing tool you use to get big. It is simply a mathematical symptom of already being big. When someone receives a recommendation, the advice is most effective at swaying people with a remarkably low likelihood of buying the brand on their own. These low-propensity non-buyers are the exact people a brand needs to grow. But human beings act as gatekeepers. We naturally filter our conversations. We don't bother pitching a sci-fi movie to a friend who hates sci-fi. We only share recommendations with people we know already have an established interest in the topic. This chart visualizes the mismatch of social gatekeeping. One curve shows word of mouth's highest impact, low propensity buyers. The second curve shows where it actually lands. 63% hits people highly likely to buy anyway. This filtering actively prevents reaching the new buyers needed for growth. Human nature mathematically forces us to preach to the choir. Because of that, peer-to-peer recommendation inherently fails as a reliable channel for acquiring new customers. If word of mouth mathematically fails to pull in new buyers, what is it actually doing? Why do these conversations happen at all? The real mechanism is internal. Word of mouth acts as a powerful, self-generated advertisement for the person speaking, rather than the person listening. The sheer act of advocating for a product forces the giver to dredge up their own past experiences and remind themselves exactly why they liked it. They are reinforcing their own memory structures, locking in their own future loyalty to the brand. Marketers need to stop categorizing customer conversations as an acquisition engine. According to the data, it functions strictly as a retention tool. True brand growth requires wide-reaching media to reach out and acquire new brains. You have to build the mental and physical availability yourself. Word of mouth should be left to do what it actually does best: quietly reinforce the loyalty of the customers you have already won.